3 things to remember with a fever. Fever is your friend. It's there for a reason. And when all the rubbish is burnt up, the fire will go out. So one of its purpose is to burn the rubbish. And number 3, water puts the fire out. So what do I mean by that? You can use water to reduce that fever. The most powerful way is drinking it. So as much as you can, but you can also use water externally.
Did you know that a fever could be your body's secret weapon? Instead of rushing to the medicine cabinet when a fever strikes, Barbara O'Neill believes learning to embrace the fever might be beneficial. Fever is often viewed as a burden, an entity that needs to be eliminated as soon as possible. Barbara, however, explains that this is a natural reaction and the body's way of protecting itself from infections. Stay tuned, as in this video, Barbara O'Neill explains why fever can actually be the best friend to our health. Natural defense mechanism. Fever is a normal response by the body against specific pathogens or organisms invading our system. It indicates that our body is producing antibodies and immune cells to fight infections. While most would be keen on lowering it with medicine, O'Neill encourages us to see fever as a friend. A fever is simply a fire in one's body that requires taming, not putting out, because it is helpful to the body. Every parent worries when their child's fever rises to 101 degrees Fahrenheit, and the first thing that comes to their mind is giving ibuprofen to their child. However, Barbara O'Neill argues that this reaction may not be appropriate in all situations. One should not automatically take fever-reducing medications to prevent or control the fever because there are safer ways, such as providing a lukewarm bath or using a cool compress. This procedure enables the fever to run its course without causing harm to the child's body. Barbara O'Neill points out that frequent use of drugs could even lengthen the fever. When the medicine's effect wears off, the fever reappears because the body is still dealing with the underlying infection. Letting the fever occur and managing it using simple natural methods can help the body clear the sickness more quickly.
Regan, when my husband builds a fire and it gets out of control, what does he reach for? Not the Panadol?
The water.
This is a fire in our land. Not the Panadol, not the ibuprofen, the water.
The water.
Boosts circulation. Fever is not nearly as complicated as some people make it out to be. Barbara O'Neill states that fever is remarkable because it helps improve blood circulation. The cardiovascular system plays a role during a fever. With the elevation of your body temperature, the heart pumps more blood, which brings immune cells and nutrients to the affected part. This increased circulation is not only to counteract disease, but also to ensure that your body is in optimum health while you have the bug. Your heart races, pumping life-saving cells throughout your body, like soldiers charging into battle. Blood circulation distributes oxygen and nutrients to various parts of the body, including significant internal organs and tissues, even when you are sick. Also, blood flow promotes the elimination of waste and toxic substances that might hinder your healing. Therefore, instead of trying to reduce a fever, O'Neill recommends that we accept it as necessary for our body's health and assist circulation by allowing our temperature to rise. The unspoken truth is that by letting the fever perform its function, you are assisting your body in healing faster and with fewer complications. Other circulatory changes caused by fever are also beneficial to the body in the long term. Chronic mild infections can improve the cardiovascular system and help prepare it for various challenges by providing gentle, consistent training. Daily fluctuations in fever also assist in maintaining the elasticity of blood vessels, which can help prevent diseases such as hypertension at a later age. O'Neill illustrates that fever is not an ailment, but the body's chance to build a shield against possible pathogens. Ensuring your body is well hydrated and well rested during a fever allows you to derive all the above advantages and be better off on the other end.
People fear fevers. Well, we create fevers every day in our gas with the steam sauna because the fever boosts circulation, it boosts your immune system, and that high heat burns out any pathogens that may be in the body. And fever's been used as a treatment for cancers, serious diseases all through Europe for thousands of years.
Enhances immune function. As per Barbara, fever is not an indication of disease, but a natural response and defense mechanism of the body. When pathogens attack, the body increases its temperature, creating an environment that is less favorable for them. It also increases the production of interferons, the proteins responsible for improving a cell's resistance to viruses. Essentially, fever elevates the system's ability to handle the infection. It's like your immune system is going into superhero mode, fighting off villains with utmost determination. Contrary to what one might think, recurrent exposure to fever conditions does more than bolster resistance during a particular illness. It helps build immunity for future challenges. As O'Neill notes, this immune training is why people who allow themselves to experience colds, flus, or fevers may have stronger immunity over time. When you let yourself go through a fever fully, you're essentially letting your body train your immune system to be better prepared next time. This is why Barbara suggests that people change their approach to fever treatment based on a respect for the body's capacity to heal itself. Eliminates pathogens. Another exciting point Barbara O'Neill makes is explaining how fever helps rid the body of pathogens. The high temperature in a fever is unfriendly to many harmful germs, which are therefore killed. Most pathogens have optimal growth at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, 37 degrees Celsius, the average temperature of the human body. Many pathogens are sensitive to temperature variations and can survive and operate only in specific temperatures. It's our body's way of burning off those nasty invaders until they are no more. According to Barbara O'Neill, this is a natural reaction from the body that is very effective during the initial moments of an illness to limit the spread of the disease. Fever helps to stop the spread of viruses and bacteria, thereby holding the enemy at bay, allowing your natural defense mechanism to take the initiative. O'Neill recommends that instead of attempting to reduce the temperature quickly, one should rely on one's body's capacity to handle it and wait for the fever to break while keeping the patient hydrated and relaxed. In this way, you're helping your body to rid itself of toxic substances and heal as thoroughly as possible.
5 times a week could reduce cancer by like around 70%.
Yeah, it's impressive because of what it does to the immune system.
I mean, it makes sense. God created our bodies, and when our bodies are in trouble, what happens? It heats up.
That's right.
Therapeutic applications. Fever therapy is an ancient form of treatment that is still used effectively today. Barbara O'Neill explains that fever has many more functions than helping combat infections. It's like harnessing a fire-like power within you to burn away any approaching disease. That's fever therapy at its best. Hyperthermia, or fever therapy, is the process of a medically induced increase in body temperature to treat some diseases. In Europe, its use has been practiced for years, especially in the treatment of severe illnesses, including cancer. Fever therapy, therefore, involves causing the body to produce fever to improve its ability to fight diseases and heal. Hyperthermia can, for example, increase the body's temperature so that cancer cells die because they are more susceptible to heat than normal cells. O'Neill emphasizes that fever therapy can be helpful for other diseases, not just cancer. For instance, it has been applied in the treatment of chronic infections such as HIV, autoimmune diseases, and some neurological diseases. The heat in fever warms the blood, invigorates circulation, diminishes swelling, and accelerates purification, making it one of the best weapons in the holistic medicine arsenal. Besides the physical advantages of fever therapy, it can also act as a potent psychological tool that helps the body to achieve a state of complete relaxation and recovery. According to Barbara, it is high time that people started appreciating the therapeutic implications of fever, realizing that their bodies possess a natural mechanism to help heal the mind and body. Fever therapy is not solely about raising body temperature, but also ensuring that the patient is supplied with enough fluids, nutrients, and adequate rest so that the body can safely handle a fever. Barbara elaborates that the practitioner's expertise is crucial in fever therapy. This advice is essential because fever therapy is a delicate process that supports the body's fight against infection without overburdening it. When properly planned, fever therapy can be a life-changing event that initiates beneficial adaptations in many body systems, leading to their optimization.
Bodies. And I remember when I did my nutrition course, one question was on rhythm. And it was fascinating. I had to write about rhythm in the body. We walk rhythmically. Every single organ in the body works according to rhythm, and then the rhythm of the planet, the seasons, the moons, the tides, and it's called our circadian rhythm inside our brain.
Interferes with healing. Barbara O'Neill makes a compelling point about why constantly using medicine to bring down fevers may not be the best approach to healing. Fevers are one of our body's natural defense systems, a reassuring sign that our body is actively fighting off infection. Whenever pathogens infect your body, its temperature typically rises, making the environment less suitable for bacteria and viruses. At the same time, this high temperature makes the immune system more effective at fighting off infection, hence speeding up the process. When you use antipyretics such as paracetamol and ibuprofen, you hinder this response. Fever is like preventing your body's warrior from doing its job. These medicines reduce fever, but also affect the body's natural immunity against infections. Essentially, fever helps you fight diseases by boosting your immune system and increasing blood flow so that pathogens can be flushed out of your system quickly. When one continuously uses drugs to manage the fever, they interrupt this crucial process, thus prolonging sicknesses and hampering recovery. Barbara suggests that we let the fever pass naturally and focus on hydration and nutrition during that time. Body fluids are needed during the fever, thus maintaining adequate hydration is essential. When you drink enough fluids, you can keep your body well hydrated, which is important for overall health and helps regulate the body's temperature. In addition, rest is essential too. Before one reaches for medication as soon as symptoms of a fever start showing up, it would be better to use supportive methods like cool packs or lukewarm baths to help relieve discomfort associated with fevers. These approaches maintain average body temperatures without interfering with natural healing processes at work within our bodies. Healing fevers should be part of a broader approach that supports our natural defense mechanisms and optimizes recovery time.
Something, Panadol, ibuprofen to get it down. But you know what happens? When the drug wears off, guess what? The fever comes back because the fever has to run its course. So if a parent keeps giving that to the child, yes, it's doing liver damage in that developing liver, but praise God, the liver's a recoverable organ.
Potential organ damage. Using fever-reducing drugs frequently can cause more than a disruption in the healing process. Barbara O'Neill also raises a critical issue. Continuous use of these drugs, especially in children, can cause serious liver damage. Our liver is a hard-working, non-stop factory. One should never overload it with toxins until it breaks down. The liver is a vital organ that helps to break down and remove various substances like medicines. Barbara warns that one should always be mindful of taking any medicine because it might affect the liver directly. Using antipyretics frequently makes it hard for this organ to clear and metabolize substances, leading to potential ill health over time. Protecting the liver is essential for overall wellness and avoiding complications that may last long term. O'Neill recommends an alternative method of managing fever to prevent liver damage. Instead of relying heavily on medication, try supporting natural processes in the body. Ensure proper hydration as it supports the working mechanism of liver cells in patients with a fever. Furthermore, resting and providing supportive care are effective ways of dealing with fever cases.
Just keep the fire, keep coming down, but after an hour, the fever comes up, we'll put them back in the bath, put them back in the shower. More ice to suck on water. I used to let my babies have free reign of the breast when they had a fever. I didn't mind if they fed every half hour, every hour.
Right.
Because I wanted them to keep.
Prolong illness. Suppression of fever can prolong an illness. Barbara O'Neill suggests that we work in harmony with the body's healing process instead of against it. By letting the fever run its course, we're actually speeding up the healing process. She recommends letting a fever take its course while ensuring adequate fluids are consumed and adequate rest is observed. However, fevers with very high temperatures or those impacting vulnerable individuals should be referred to a medical doctor. O'Neill uses composting as an analogy for this situation. Just as microorganisms convert organic matter into valuable plant nutrients, our bodies use fevers to initiate immune responses that help fight off infections. Like compost nourishes soil, fevers enhance our immune system, speeding recovery. Microorganisms are essential components of nature and human bodies. Such microbes biodegrade organic matter during composting and recycle nutrients for reuse by plants. In the same way, beneficial microbes decompose food in our stomachs and protect us from harmful bacteria and viruses present in the same place. When we are born, we have no bacteria, but within no time, helpful microbes are passed on from our mothers and environment. According to Barbara, microorganisms are not restricted to the gut alone. She also explains that the presence of mold and fungi, even in potentially harmful amounts, is still part of the normal process of decomposing substances. There must be a balance to stay healthy and prevent sickness. In conclusion, according to Dr. Barbara O'Neill, fever is one of the most effective forms of protection from diseases in the human body. Instead of viewing it as just an indicator of disease, understanding its function in enhancing the body's defenses and aiding in healing will enable better health management. Moderation is crucial in using medications, and letting the body work naturally is paramount to enhancing treatments.
And so if you let the fire run its course by just cooling the body every hour, every half hour, how often, the fever's usually gone in a couple of days. Whereas if you keep giving the Panadol or the ibuprofen, the fever can sometimes keep coming back for a whole week. Let it run its course. God put it there for a reason.
Well, there you have the truth about getting a fever. Barbara O'Neill sure proved that fever is our body's best friend. Write your thoughts in the comment section below and let us know. Don't forget to like the video and hit the subscribe button for more amazing talks about the health world.